Welcome to the next episode of the Realistic RTG here on FC25. You guys are watching post-commentary Ches for the time being. I had an issue with my mic for the first half of the episode, but live com Ches does join you later on in the episode. Rather typical that the first time I record an episode off stream where I don't get the live feedback and something goes wrong. I asked you guys who I should sign in the last episode, and rather resounding. Boolat, 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 Boolat. Golding. So that's probably the most one-sided option we've ever had in any transfer we've made. So you guys were quite right, though. We should pay a decent fee and give him a sizable wage too, because he's coming from a club that, whilst sit in a lower ranked league than us, they do have the opportunity of European football on the odd occasion. So we're going to look to bring him in and pay him, if possible, a joint highest earner clause, so to speak. We're going to try and loan in that centre-back Gadu as well. But you can see that Boulat is currently earning £19,500 a week at Dinamo Zagreb, and he's valued at 12. My executive said you can have him for 7ish probably, which is obviously nonsense. Their value is 14.5, so I thought I'd value 14 and see if I'd bid 14 and see if they'll kind of up me from there, and then I don't mind paying a little bit more for a premium fee for that sort of player. But deal signed for £14 million. He joins. It's kind of similar to the Enzo Lefebvre deal from real life coming into Sunderland, or I believe that's a loan from Roma. And Dinamo actually have sold to a championship side before with Ivan Sunjic, I believe, judging by what you guys were saying in the comment section. So thank you for that. And I do believe that £14 million is a record incoming transfer fee. There's 4 million up there. There's 6 million for Lawal. Then there was 7 million played for Lawal. And down the bottom, we played 9.5 million for Don Angelo Canadu in the summer. But that is going to be a new incoming transfer record signing. So obviously he's worth that. And we said we were going to try and give him, well, let's be honest, we expect him to accept a small wage hike regardless. But he's on 19.5. So to have a matched highest earner clause, he's certainly not going to turn down 32.5, is he? So we offer him crucial, obviously. At 28 years of age, he's definitely got 4 years in him. He's going to grow from there as well. So absolutely, we want to make sure he spends the rest of his prime years at our club, and offering him that joint highest wage clause of 32.5. And rather unsurprisingly, Marco Bula is very happy with a 75% wage rise coming from Croatia to the United Kingdom, to the English Championship, where we hopefully will be having him drive us forward over the line towards being a Premier League footballer, and rather fantastically as well, train him as a playmaker, which is the role he's going to play in the side, and he's going to grow to 79 rated in just 12 weeks. Very, very happy with that. Thank you very much. Grimshaw's agreed a contract to go to Watford at the end of the season, and you notice here that, weirdly, halfway through the window, Fulham have decided that now is the time they want to recall Scanlon, which is annoying. So now we need to go and sign a new backup fullback. Hector Bellerin is on the transfer list at Real Betis. He's only got 6 months left on his contract, 5 months left on his contract, but he's on the transfer list. So with the live editor, we did bring him in on a 50-50 wages split. So he's coming in on £9,000 a week. Banging. We're going to get Watford done and out of the way, and then we'll look to get Joan Godot in as well at centre-back. Watford aside that obviously we have played a couple of times, but they have that dodgy formation, so we said we'd just sim them next time we had them, which we are. And we lead through Will Lancashire, who has, I think, at this stage, heading into this game, 17 league goals in the season. Now 18, but we're pegged back by Doumbia, who not only scores once, but is about to double his goal tally for the day and extend a brace to his, unfortunately, goal tally for the season. Watford a side that we've wiped the floor with a couple of times in played games, but that is circumstantial with the nature of their tactics, isn't it? They are 8th in the table and looking for a playoff spot, but we're denying them the victory as Will Lancashire buries a brilliant second for him to take him to 19 for the league season, and that will be us up staying in 4th place in the division. we're looking very, very good right now for definitely a playoff spot. So, now that we've brought in the one loanee that we weren't expecting of Hector Bellerin, we can go and get the short-term loan of Joan Godot in. And after they were like, no, you can't pay that, pay this. Oh, we're not going to... I just thought, bollocks to 50-50, get the deal done, so we have. Coming into the first played game of the day is Bolton Wanderers. They're playing a 5-back, and they're bottom of the table, and quite frankly, you can tell from the ratings in their side that they're not great. Their defence is okay, but the right-back's certainly a weak spot. In midfield, they're okay as well, 71, 72, 68, 74 there for Thomason, and then both strikers are a 69. So certainly no surprises that they're bottom of the table, and we were hoping to get a rather sizable, comfortable victory here in this one if we possibly could. Stokes around the corner into Will Lancashire, who with this scores his 20th league goal of the season, and we're only in mid-January so far. Lancashire is certainly doing everything he can to guarantee a strong move for him away from Tottenham in the summer. Whether that be to us or whether that be to someone else, time will only tell, of course. Stokes played in here on the counter-attack, and Bolton are crumbling already 11 minutes in, but we haven't been able to turn that home. Took it a little bit too close to the keeper, and Lancashire clearly isn't the finished article just yet. Not as clinical as we might like him to be every single time. He missed a couple of chances in the Watford game as well that didn't make the highlight cut. He's in again here, turns brilliantly around the defender and aims for the near post to try and catch the keeper out, but keeper, whilst beaten, he beat the post too, so no second goal for me just yet in this save. This feels really weird to me, by the way, doing a post-com. It's been a long time. This is going to be a proper flashback for those of you that are long-term viewers of the channel. This time, Lancashire, though, clinical. Thank you very much, sir. And we extend our lead to 2 after knocking on the door rather resoundingly, consistently throughout the course of the game. Now 21 league goals for Lancashire in the Championship this season. They were going to get a goal back, though. McAtee strikes the inside of the post, and rather typically with a rebound, it goes straight to their guy, who finishes well. Aaron Collins sweeping home, one striker to another via the post. Not the obvious 1-2. I asked the question, could the keeper do better? The answer's probably, but it's also very difficult. He's got to get back up, sprint back towards the line. He does get very close, doesn't quite fully extend his arm, but maybe he's a little bit worried about crashing into the post. So I will give Bergstrom the benefit of the doubt on this occasion. We are building, though, again, not long after, looking to get that 2-goal advantage back. Stokes in behind, brings it down really nicely, just opens the angle up a little bit for him, and he's able to squeeze it underneath the goalkeeper to give us a 3-1 lead and restore that 2-goal advantage. Been very pleased with Josh Stokes on bringing him into the club. It's been a long time happening, of course, because we were planning on bringing him in for a while and never actually got around to it. And just so happened that we needed him at this stage of the season, or this stage of the save, and we have made the decision to bring him in, and actually quite happy with him so far, to be completely honest. Looking for a 4th, but not able to find it with long balls there, but we do get the 3-1 win. 3 points added to the tally, and looking to plough on in the playoffs and maintain that 4th spot at the very least. Thank you very much for the 3 points. Enjoy League One next year, as we hopefully will enjoy the Premier League next year. In comes Joan Godot. He's joining from Stade Rennais. He's a Salzburg player in real life, but he is going to come in from the French division here as we now push into a game against Luton, who have a decent team, to be fair. Also playing a 5-back. 78 rated Carlos Miguel in goal is decent. Piers Mooney at the back, as well as Ted and Mengi as well. 77 and 81 respectively. Reece Burke at CDM, because I don't really have a CDM to go to. Shandon Baptiste and Mass Madsen in the midfield, and then Keane Lewis Potter at 79 rated up top. Kind of shoehorned in, because he's actually a winger. Roman Esser is also a winger, but at 80 rated is one of the highest rated players in their side. But Will Lancashire in behind, and not clinical again on this occasion, but it was a very good reaction save from Carlos Miguel, to be fair to him, who had a very good game here for Luton. And whilst Grimshaw is leaving, we are going to be looking for a new goalkeeper in the summer. That new goalkeeper obviously is yet to be decided upon. Now then, I'm going to leave you with live Ches to carry you on for the rest of the episode. Stevenson forward to Kanadu and into Bula. Still 0-0 here at home. Trying to force the issue against a half-decent Luton side that have let Will Lancashire get in behind. And this surely should be pretty straightforward from here, and indeed it is. Lancashire clinical again. Bradford 1, Luton 0. Live commentary back after an issue with my mic for the first 2/3 of the episode. Apologies for that. We have ourselves an advantage against Luton now as well to go with the win against Bolton and the point against Watford. And so far, he's the only man that could score a goal for me today. Of course. Joe Taylor's got good quality. He's just not really the physical specimen that you need up top at times to just bully defenders out of the way. Looking for Canadu down the line here. And they've got a bit of space because the defence has gone walkabouts. And they tried to play an offside trap there that just hasn't worked. And Lancashire, just waited a little bit too long, I thought. Oh, Giovanni off the post! Off the post! That should have been 2-0. Luton a bit shaky at the back. Positionally, they're not very well disciplined, unlike Bolton, who were. Bolton just didn't have the quality. They had the wrong players in the right place. Luton have the right players in the wrong place. We lead by 1-0 at half-time. Ramola gets away from his man nicely and will look to set forward in behind. Touch is good. Ball is good. Canadu for 2. It's a brilliant save and reactions to get to the second one as well. Carlos Miguel, that is very impressive. Well, certainly putting himself in a position where maybe we could add him to a shortlist if we need to replace Bergstrom at any point. He's of a rating that we could look at him, and certainly he looks very bloody good based on this performance so far. Well in there, Giovanni to win that back. Shackford going one way, then the other. Works the defence well. We'll go for it from range and probably should have just looked for the pass instead. 54th minute, it's still only a 0-0 as it was against Bolton for the majority of the game. Eventually the goal started flowing just after the hour mark. That might be the case here as well, but fingers crossed this time we can keep a clean sheet. Thanks to Bergstrom clutching on to that. Roman Essa on up top for them. Joe Taylor hooked after an unsatisfactory performance, trying to lead the line with Keane Lewis-Potter. And now they're going to try and utilise Essa as a striker. It's not his ideal position, but the pace should certainly make up for any lack of positional awareness. Bulak caught late there. That'll be a free kick and a yellow card. They'd already got Shandon Baptiste booked earlier, and he was substituted off. Now Reece Burke has picked up a yellow card as well. Burke now at centre-back as they've moved Mengi into CDM. They've swapped them around here during the course of the second half. Keane Lewis-Potter looking to get away from Lucas Stevenson here, and he's doing so very well. There is a lack of support at the minute, but here comes Nelson. There's another player that's come off the bench here for them. Keane Lewis-Potter moved that wide now maybe. Here's Masson. Forces the save out the keeper and will keep it in play. Luton looking dangerous, trying to find that one goal back they need. Is it going to be like Bolton, where we certainly do need that second goal to guarantee the win? Essa. They've changed formation actually. I think they've moved Roman Essa out wide now. They've changed formation for the second time in this game. 4-2-1-3 now, with Zach Nelson through the middle, Essa on the right and Lewis-Potter on the left for Luton. Still maintaining that defensive mindset with the 2 CDMs and a centre mid, but getting a little bit more ambitious at the other end of the pitch. Although shooting like that is exactly why Zach Nelson is on the bench and not in the starting lineup. That was particularly poor. Chances have been few and far between for Luton in this game, and they certainly should have done better with that. I maybe should have taken my time before playing that pass down the line towards Clark O'Dour, who's come off the bench here in that right wing spot. Trying to get a tackle in there with Adam Ramola, and we've done well. Wadsworth has come on in the midfield too. Here's Lancashire now. We will look for Clutch Clark, and he should get to that. He has not, unfortunately. 9 minutes or 8.5 minutes to hold on, which hopefully we will be able to do. It'll be a narrow victory. As long as we get the 3 points, we don't really mind at this stage of the season. Goal difference with our current league position isn't going to be too much of an issue for us, or a concern for us when it comes to figuring out what our final league position is going to be. No handball in there, thankfully, for Lancashire. There's a man on the edge of the box. His colours are Lenya, who's left-footed, actually, so I don't really want to put that on his right. Get it to Lancashire. Look for Clark O'Dour, who's also left-footed. And then here arriving, was Wadsworth waiting to fire home. Wasted some time there, although probably not enough. Thankfully, Lawale is rock solid in the tackle, so that should be now game for us. We'll just pass the ball about, maintain possession, and ensure that we get the win. 3 points for Bradford again. We're going to get the 7 that we wanted after we weren't quite able to see any victory against Watford. In fact, we were lucky to get the point, were we, in the end? Well, no luck involved in the next 2 games. Good quality in attack, good quality in defence. 4 goals scored, 1 goal conceded, 6 points earned. We've arrived on transfer deadline day. So far, the biggest deals of the day aren't that massive, although Preston in the Championship have just splashed £10 million on Borges from Porto. That's a sizable signing for a club mid-table in the Championship. We're obviously upper reaches of the Championship now, and we just spent 14 million. But certainly I wouldn't have expected a side like Preston to be spending 10 million at this stage of the season with where they are in the league. Dyer moves from Wolfsburg to Fenerbahce for 25.8. Now we get to the bigger ones. Neto from Valencia to Sporting. Vandenberg from Lille to Leipzig. But the biggest is O'Reilly from Wolves to Nice. Made his way from Brighton to Wolves and now leaves the Premier League. Farias moves within the Premier League from Ipswich to West Ham United. We've had a bid from Norwich for Bergstrom, which we will be rejecting now. Previously, Norwich was certainly a side we would have considered, and certainly have, sold to Kelvin, the most recent. But at this stage of the season, at this stage of our club's journey, I feel comfortable enough in turning down clubs of that nature now. Lopez moves from Sociedad to Fiorentina, is the 3rd biggest deal of the day so far. Replaced soon by another 2nd biggest deal, which is Buongiorno from Napoli to Borussia Dortmund. Some sizable deals going through now. We haven't seen anything in 3 figures for the millions at least. No 9-figure deals yet. Occasionally there's some 9-figure deals go through in January, as obviously prices are slightly inflated at this time of year. Alex Baena has moved from Inter back to La Liga to go to Barcelona. An email from a chief executive, interested in another Patreon player, potentially going to Sheffield United, which would be intriguing because I'm sure we've got Sheffield United left to play this month. But, yep, there you go. There's your 9-figure deal. Neves moves from Chelsea to Atalanta for £100.3 million. There is a big 9-figure deal in this window. We'll give you a full transfer roundup of how... Now, of course, we get 2 bids as the day finishes. Stevenson has had a bid from Norwich. Is that a swap deal? No. Just the other one was the swap deal. That's a no. And a bid for Gabe from Moreirense, which is obviously going to be a no as well. There are still calls for Odor to be re-signed for another year. I am apprehensive to do so, especially now that we've brought Bulat in. And Bulat should well grow to 79 before the end of the season, meaning a certain Leighton Clarkson might well be available for us in the summer window to bring into the midfield, and that would give us some fantastic depth in that position in this squad. And absolutely, I'd be on board with doing so. We might even be too good in central midfield positions in that case, but I'd rather be too good than not good enough, that's for sure. And we just rotate and make sure that everybody got enough football to keep them happy. Right, transfer window closed. Transfer roundup for you guys with regards the main window, which is the biggest deal that went through was that João Neves. What is he rated at now? 88 at 25 years of age. Very, very, very good player. Fede Valverde is 90 rated at 31. I was kind of hoping to use a player like Fede Valverde at some point in this save. I might get the chance, but only when he's about 36, I think. 92.8 million is what Liverpool paid. Kent Madsen has moved to Manchester City from Sporting, a Danish striker. Striker cam left wing. Not sure. Anything else? Alex Baena we saw. Anything else in this month? Kulusevski's a player I'd like to use at some point in this save potentially as well. Or did I sign him in the last one? I can't remember if we actually ever signed Kulusevski. He's always a player I'd like to use. Manchester United have been busy in the windows this season. 73.1 million they made for selling Kulusevski. They sold De Ligt as well for 71.6. So they've let a few go, that's for sure. Udogi as well and Malo Gusto. I hope Man United have bought some players, otherwise they're gutting their squad here. They sold Gyökeres in the summer as well. Well, they're going to have plenty of money. And they sold Ugarte in the summer too. What is happening at Manchester United? The questionable recruitment continues. O'Reilly was another deal done in this window. Schlotterbeck's moved to Barcelona. Pablo Torre has gone to Bologna from Arsenal. Intriguing one. That was in December, would have gone through on January the 1st. Similarly, Trincao would have gone through on January the 1st. Buongiorno was deadline day, as we saw. Joško Fardiol comes back to the Premier League to Ipswich Town at 87 rated. How good are Ipswich then? Bloody hell. Valentin Barco to Fiorentina. Nicholas Jackson's back in the Premier League to Brighton. Jan Couto to Atalanta. Anything else sizable at this stage? Ivan Ilic to Man United. So they have bought someone. Where do you play? Central midfield. That's maybe an Ugarte replacement with centre mid and CDM. An Ugarte upgrade for sure. Ruben Dias back to the Premier League to Newcastle now for 50.5 at 32, but still 88 rated and very, very good. Man United have bought Mario Gila, a centre-back, 29-year-old at 85 rated. So they have signed, and they're signing for less than they spent, Manchester United. Farias, we saw. Rooney Bargi has left the Premier League now to go to Monaco. He's certainly a player we could consider using later in the save for sure. Sven Botman to Bayern. Now we're in the 40s. I'll probably call it. Brian Zaragoza to Stade Rennais from Bayern Munich. But I'll go and sort out the Patreon player spreadsheet, and then we can give you that full roundup as well. But I'm very pleased with that transfer window, and we will pay the first instalment of the £36 million it's going to cost to buy a new ground. So £18 million is about to be spent here. Stadium, well, let's put new ground cost in brackets 50%, and £18 million. That's £18,000, Ches. Well done. I wish I could buy a 25,000 seat stadium for £36,000. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. £18 million will leave our bank account and go to the builders. The new stadium is underway. So there have been no permanent moves in January, but there have been a number of loans. We've seen Giulio Leschi move from Vallecano to Lyngby Bold Club on loan. We know that Dallas was already on loan at West Brom because obviously we played against him when we had West Brom. Hamburg is the destination for Brandon on loan from Valencia. From Barcelona to Gil Vicente in Portugal for Jun Ho. And then Real Sociedad is swapped for Wolfsburger AC on loan for Nicholas Saint, moving to Austria in a loan spell. They're the only moves thus far in this one. They're the only moves that are going to happen at all in this season. So we'll be moving on to season 7 before some of you move elsewhere. We have added a couple in most recently. That being, where are you? Obaid. I can't remember what position you were off the top of my head. Obaid. CDM, I think. There he is. Obaid Akindi is in as a free agent. He hasn't yet moved anywhere, but I'm sure given time will do so. So, by all means, do pause and have a look at your face stats in more detail if you so wish. Do come and join me on stream, and you'll be able to see all of those individual stats behind the scenes. Just as an example for Cameron, they're all of his individual stats. Physically very impressive. 96 stamina. Go on, lad. Any play styles? No play styles. We had a few people that rejected potential transfers and or loans, but so there were bids that went in for Patreon players, but not all of you open to the move. There are a couple of play styles that some of you are looking or are getting now. Technical and acrobatic there for Jay Jackson. Incisive pass for Owen Sanders. To be fair, some of those play styles might be from the players that you kind of inherited, so to speak, when I kind of replaced other players with you. So that might be the case. Although, yeah, this guy obviously used to be a goalkeeper, so we obviously replaced the goalkeeper with Jasper Waldo. So he has the far throw trait, who we then moved to a striker. So not really going to get the chance to use that far throw trait, I'm afraid. But some of you still have traits from your previous lives, so to speak, as other real life players. But that's where we stand with regards to you guys. That's where we stand with the transfer window. Here is where we stand with the league. We are only 5 points behind Southampton now, but still 10 points, although Southampton have a game in hand, to be fair. 10 points off Leicester. And 13 points inside the playoffs. if we believe that potentially second is doable and we could gain 10 points on Leicester, then we have to factor in the fact that maybe Coventry below us could gain 13 points of us. The other way around, if we have a terrible end to the season, we could fall out the playoffs. It is, of course, most likely that we will finish at this stage 4th, maybe 3rd, but whilst the carrot is dangling, albeit the carrot gets smaller and smaller as each match day goes by, second place and Leicester City might be a target for us. There is going to be potentially something to play for still in the second half of this season before we reach the post-season and the playoffs. Moving forward into the next month, we've Sunderland, Swansea, Middlesbrough, Sheffield United and Portsmouth. We do not play Leicester again, I don't believe. No, we do play Southampton again, though, there in the penultimate game of the season, which might be very important come that time of year. But for now, that is all for today. Join me tomorrow in February, where we will look to chase down Leicester if we possibly can. Do drop the video a like if you're enjoying the save and looking forward to, hopefully, a Premier League season next year. Subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss out on any more of the save, whichever division we're in. And I'll see you tomorrow for more.